Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Inside Unreal, which is a weekly show where we learn, explore, and celebrate everything Unreal. I am your host, Tina, and today with me, I have some wonderful and incredible and amazing guests who are going to help me walk through the brand new Epic for Indies initiative that launched recently. So we'll just get right into it because there's a lot to cover. I'll toss it to you first, Martina. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Hi, hello. Thank you so much, Tina, for having us here. I'm Martina Santoro. I'm a former evangelist of Unreal Engine. I've been working at Epic for the last 5 years, and I'm the new Epic's community manager for Epic for Indies. This is a new initiative I'm really excited about, and I'm also a former indie. I run my own studio in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, for almost 10 years. So this is a very dear project to me, something very special that we've been working for the past year or so right now. So I'm so excited that we are going to get to talk about everything we've been working on and everything we are preparing for indies around the world. So yes, hello and welcome everybody. I'll pass it then to Tao to introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Tadej Chaudhary. I'm a part of the EMEA BD team. I basically work with all things indie. I used to be a part of the evangelism team as well. It's really cool to see you guys and see how things are going. Yeah, this program has a lot of cool stuff coming up for it, and it's a lot of stuff to showcase as well.
Yes, lots of very cool things. All right, Tab, I'm going to leave it to you. Who are you giving it to? Who's next?
I'll send it over to Sam then.
Hi folks, I'm Sam. I am a technical designer here at Epic Games. I was also an evangelist, recurring theme here. Prior to that, I was an indie developer for about 6 years. Prior to that, I was in AAA for like 15 years. So I've done a lot on all the various sides of game development at Epic. I develop mainly content for UE and UEFN. So I kind of am back in a building stuff mode versus a running a studio mode, and I'm kind of happy about that, but I'm also happy to answer any questions about Epic and Indies. That's why I'm here. Should I throw it over to Martine? Sort of.
Thank you, Sam. Very happy to be here, guys. Thanks for coming. I'm on the Fab content team, so I'm responsible for creator success, managing all of the content coming in and going out of the upcoming Fab marketplace. So hopefully I see some of your guys' awesome creations on there as well. And here to answer questions and, talk about the general experience about selling your assets on Fab very shortly. Launch is coming soon.
Yes. So obviously we've got some really incredible people here today. We will be answering some questions today, as we always do on these streams, of course. But just so we kind of go through the format a little bit, it's going to be slightly different than how we usually run them. We do have some pre-prepared questions that we'll go through first, just so we make sure that we hit all the key points of information we want to make sure that y'all know about. And then once we're through those, we'll open up to the live Q&A where we will be pulling some questions from you all. So don't worry, we're still answering your questions. Just know that if there's a period of time where we're answering questions that you haven't seen pop up in chat, and you're like, what are these questions? Tina's just making them up. No, I'm not. Well, actually, technically, yes, I am, but it was done beforehand with great purpose. So that's going to be kind of the layout for today. So still ask your questions in chat. We're still collecting them. We'll still go through them, but just so you're aware how this is gonna run through a little bit today. So first, Martina, I'm gonna hand it back over to you so that you can kind of walk us through this. What is Epic for Indies?
So we are expanding the Epic developers community and we are focusing on indies. We've been actually doing a lot of work for indies since forever at Epic, but I think this is the first time we are making it official, right? Like we are actually creating a place for people to find us, and not just us, but each other. I said before, I used to run my own studio in Buenos Aires. I had we started the studio with two friends, and it was an amazing experience, but also one where we struggled a lot, and we find that we run into a lot of challenges, and it changed our lives to find the community. When I think it was 2008 or 2009, we first went to our local games conference, Eva. We found that there were people just like us that were struggling with the same problems, and it was a life-changing experience. Community suddenly meant everything to us. We found a place where we could exchange our experience, talk about, of course, technical challenges, right? Like talk about design, talk about art, talk about our games, what we were wanted to make. But then we also got to talk about other parts of making a game, right? Like talking about how to talk to an investor, how to talk to a publisher, how to negotiate a contract. I mean, this community was so open and so generous. It was a place where we find people that understood that in sharing there was benefits for everyone. And not only on the game level, even in a personal level. I became very active in the local community, and I found out that there is a lot of place to also to grow as an individual when you commit to a community like this, and you share everything you learned, and not just the good things but also the bad ones, especially the bad ones. I think it's part of why I got so excited when I got to join this initiative. I don't know, on a personal level, it was so hard, so exhausting to deal with rejection or even yes, to keep being, like, resilient, and the community was also a part of that, right? Like people that were on your side, helping you. I don't know, not just with feedback, but what I'm trying to say is, like, even with how do you call it, like imposter syndrome, like when you're saying, like, oh my god, what am I doing? I'm getting myself into this. I'm not able to make this first game, and all these other nerds, I love them. These have been my friends for the last 20 years, and they completely changed the course of my life. So I think, and I hope, is that this community becomes that for you. I mean, Epic developer community has always been focusing on the tech. So it's been always kind of like, well, if you want to meet other people making Unreal stuff, here is your community. Or if you are working with UEFN, here's your community. I think there are a lot of groups of people using Unreal, or a lot of people, right? Like you have architects, you have animators, you have like all these amazing, all these different industries working with our tools. But I think this is the first time we have a place that is not just talking about the tech. It's like, well, what can you do with it? What kind of games? How can you use it to make something better? But then also talk about everything else. I need to launch my game. How do I prepare? How do I build up my own community of players? Or how I don't know, I set up a press kit. We've been talking about this on one, I don't want to spoil, but on the live streams on Discord on Wednesdays, and all these amazing questions came out that are also a part of releasing a successful game, right? So I think that's what we are trying to do, is creating a space for not just you as a developer to meet the Epic team. It's going to be people from different teams inside of Epic helping you out on everything that we can. But then a place where you can actually meet each other, right? Like find a place to collaborate and I don't know, give feedback, do playtesting, yeah, even collaborate in projects if that's possible. So yes, I think that's a little bit of what this is. And I don't know if shall we move to the part where we actually can like do a little bit like a deep dive and start exploring.
No, absolutely not. The stream is
Oh
over.
no,
We can't do that. No. Yes, of course we can. Let's do it. Let's pull it up here. So yeah, we'll walk through kind of the different sections of the Epic for Indies hub that's available on the developer community now. So yeah, first we're here.
Yes.
This is
So
walk us through this,
when
Martina.
so when you go to the Epic Developers community, you'll see that we have all these different sections, right? You have UFN, you have online services, you have the store, but then you will find also this Epic for Indies section where we are discussing everything else, right? You will find different places to interact with each other. The first one, for example, is the forums. So in the forums, you'll be able to talk about game production, anything related with the game business, the business of making games, distribution, marketing. This is I think a cool place to start the conversation on these other matters. Again, if you have a technical question about UE or online services, you go to the upper side of that community and you'll find everything there. But I think this place is a great opportunity to talk about everything else. There is also a section where you can showcase your game and show all the community what kind of project you're working on. We have people from Epic all the time browsing this. We are there. We are interacting in the forum. So I think it's also a great place for us to find you. Something we are trying to do with this community is, well, I told you, right? Like we've been helping indies for a really long time, but it was kind of like who you knew inside of Epic. So it was more like we are doing indie features on our blog, right? Like we are giving you eyes, visibility with interviews, right? And I think it was kind of like who you knew, right? Like maybe if someone at Epic finds somehow your content, or I don't know, you met us at GDC or Gamescom, then you kind of like got a chance to talk to us, show us your project, and then get a feature of some like something like that, or I don't know, the technical threads on X. I like to call it Twitter, but or I don't know, the screenshot Saturdays, right? It was kind of like who you knew, and I think this is a place, the forums, where we are going to be there, even if you've never met me, even if you never saw Martina or Tina or Sam or Tab or Martin or anyone at an event. I think this is a great chance to meet us. It's a great chance for us to find and discover your project. We've been working with indies, inviting them to, I don't know, showcase their games at the expo floor at GDC, or I don't know, showing their games at our reels, right? And so if you go to the getting started section, yes, on the left column there, you'll see that everything we've been doing with Epic since forever, now I think it's like in one place. It's easier to find, right? So if you want to engage with us, you have the forums. If you want to show us your games, you have the forums. If you want to get additional assistance, we have the MegaGrants program. I don't know if people know about this. This is like $100 million fund that's been supporting teams from all over the world. And maybe, I don't know if, like indies knew that this was also for them, not just for like AAA studios or the bigger, more experienced teams. Of course, we are going to be also hosting special activities. We are going to, as I mentioned, do weekly office hours with Epic team members every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And we are also going to have industry guests. We have from other indie studios to some of our amazing partners that are going to also be doing special appearances, talking about, again, different different areas of game development, from the technical side to the business. And then, of course, we are going to have a monthly live stream, right, Tina? There's going to be indie focused, so that's also completely new.
Yes.
What else we have there? So you have the forums, you have, we have the Discord there. Also, we have this community that's been growing like crazy. We have like 500 indies there. It's insane. It's amazing how fast this is growing. And I think that this was a really cool stream to do, because we've been doing this. We already done like 2 Wednesday streams, and we kind of like start all over every time. Having this opportunity, Tina, is amazing. We can have everything living here on YouTube forever. So we have the Discord. What else? We have the learning materials. If you go to the learning library, this is a library that, again, it's being used also from our technical, from our tools and services. I think if you go to the left column, is under forums. Great. So there you'll see that there is a lot of people not just sharing like tutorials on how to do something with a game, but also there is super valuable materials on how to actually make a game. Actually, you'll find there Sam's collaboration, right? Your first post there, where you are sharing the first steps on how to make your first game.
Yeah, there I am.
Yes. So for people that are starting from scratch, and again, this could be even like developer diary, right? Like could be a way of showing other people how you're doing something. How was your experience? I don't know. We have teams from all over the world actually sharing even how they explore a very specific art style. I don't know. It's really the kind of content that has been showcased is amazing. We have even conferences from around the world. We have conferences from Finland, from Greece, from Poland, from Argentina, from Brazil, that are already uploading all of their content on YouTube, and that's amazing. You have publishers and developers and platforms. There is like so many learning materials that, again, is not just technical, right? That it's related to the business of games. So I think it's a really cool place also to start. Yes, of course. Then, as Tina is showing, you have all of our support. You have more information about our store, about the engine, Unreal Engine. You have everything about online services and Fab that we are going to be talking in a little bit. But yes, like this is, I think it's like a treasure trove, right? Like of resources and materials, where I think in the past it was kind of like, well, I need to do this, and it was maybe us pointing you to a direction, and it was a very one-on-one relationship, and now it's expanding, and it's not just us, it's our partners also. So we have AMD, we have Amazon, we have Raw Fury, we have all these amazing companies that are also going to be supporting teams, not just us, trying to, again, give indies more visibility, some hardware, some software for free. And again, this is, I think this is a great opportunity for you to get your projects in front of the right people, right? And yes, we have publishers, we have, yes, NVIDIA, Houdini, Head Up Games, yes, Hype Train, and many more that we are still working through legal to get all of the paperwork signed so we can bring them to these websites. But yes, the idea is that we are going to help you map out everything regarding the business and the marketing of games, so you can talk to the right people inside of each of these amazing companies. Then what else? We have the events and news section. There we are going to be sharing with you everything related to Epic, right? So you will find the kind of projects that we are the kind of events we are going to be assisting or participating somehow. So for example, we've been at Unreal Fest a couple of weeks ago in Seattle. Tab, you are going to be at the Game Industry Conference, right, in Poland soon. I'm going to be at EVA next week in Argentina. We have this amazing game jam that is happening right now. It started on Monday. You are still with enough time to participate, called the Senscape Midnight Jam. This is a jam that it's again happening online for everyone for free. It has amazing prizes, like they are giving away thousands of dollars in awards. This is the third or fourth time actually that we support this initiative, and we've seen amazing games come out of this. This is like you spend 2 weeks with this indie team that will guide you through the development process of an adventure game, and really, like, you can actually play the games from the previous years, and they are amazing. Some of them actually got published, and even like some team members even got hired by this company, because it was a great way of networking and actually spending time with these developers. But yes, we are going to be making all these announcements of special workshops that we are hosting. For example, we have one workshop coming up in November called First Steps in Unreal Engine 5. This is, I think it's like 11 hours of intro to UE. And the cool part is that it's segmented on different verticals, so you don't have to attend to all of them. Maybe you can have the members of your teams or your friends, assisting the sessions according to what they want to learn. So we have sections on how to use UE for level design, for game design, for content production, technical art, programming, UEFN. I mean, it's pretty cool to and a very practical way to also sign up. And there is a form that I think it's yes, something pretty cool coming up soon. And then, of course, if you scroll down, you'll have the actual news that are the ones that we think are important for indies, from Epic announcements to some of the features of these indie teams that we are interviewing from around the world. So yes, I think it's mainly it, right? And then the most important part is like, well, how do you get a feature? How do you get visibility? How do you get any sort of additional support from Epic? Well, to do that, you need to go to that specific section on the left that says Epic help and support, and then tell us about your game. So it's the last. You can find that on the getting starting section, or on the column on the left. It also says tell us about your game. So getting started is on the right down, right, on the assistance there. Awesome.
Yep.
And then
on right there in the bottom right.
So that will take you out of the community into the developer portal, and that's the place where you need to create your organization. You can do this as an individual. You don't need to have a company or anything. It could be just you, or you and your team members. You create an organization, and then you create what we call a product that it's actually your game, right? So maybe we can go through. There is a frequently asked question there, right?
Yeah, right here.
Nice.
It'll go through answers. What is Epic for Indies? How to apply for additional assistance, what we're looking for when it comes to that. Also, I do want to point out that Epic for Indies also does include UEFN creators as well, right? It's not just people who are working in Unreal Engine specifically either. These are resources that are available for any indie developer anywhere that wants to be part of the Epic ecosystem. So even if you're using a different engine or things like that, but maybe you're interested in publishing on the Epic Game Store or utilizing Epic Online Services or things like that, this is still an open space for developers like that as well.
Yes, engine agnostic. I think that's the main title, right? Like you need to take away from this. So maybe, I don't know, you've been working on other engines, on games for years, and you want to bring your games to our store. We can help you with that. You are trying to switch from any other engine to UE. We can help you with that. You have your game that's going to be launched soon, and you're looking for marketing visibility, or you want to port it to other platforms. This is your place. So yes, thank you for bringing that up. This is the most important part of, I think, the whole conversation. So which are the frequently asked questions there? So maybe
Yeah,
I went through some of them.
I went through, showed some of them, but just for verbal, in case anyone is just listening, some of them are, is my game made without Unreal Engine eligible, like we just said? Yes. The answer is yes, absolutely. Is this limited to developers exclusively in the US? No, it is not. We encourage and support projects from all over the globe. Do I have to have a large studio or business to participate? No, you do not. It can be individuals and small teams. Any indie is welcome here, of course. Can I apply with more than one project or more than one game? Kind of like as you were explaining, Martina, that project equals game here. Yes, you can. Is there a deadline for submission? No. There's not. It's ongoing.
It's an open window. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm in. What's next? You share your game with us via the Tell Us About Your Game form, which we'll be walking through in just a moment here, so you can see it, and we'll go through each step with you. Send videos, links, any other information you think will help us see why your project is awesome. I have a couple questions around that I figure we can dive into later, Martina, around like what makes for a good submission, what are the things to consider when it comes to those, all that good stuff. How can I update my application? To add significant project updates to your application, you can edit it directly in the Tell Us About Your Game form in the dev portal at any time. So if you end up making a new trailer or a demo later, or things that you want to add onto this project that you didn't have when you initially made your submission, you can still do so. This is not a you created it once and now you could never touch it again sort of thing. It can live and grow with you and your project as you continue to develop on it. When will I hear back from Epic? We will be checking out projects that are shared with us and contacting the ones we consider are a good fit for any additional assistance. There is the thing though that this is being considered by real people, mostly Martina, like you yourself, correct?
Yeah. So I'm the first keeper of that. So it's just going to be me. That's also the important thing is this is not public. It's not open for everyone. It's not like you submit this and everyone that it's a member of the Indies community will see this. This is just for Epic eyes only. So that what I'm going to be doing is like I'm going to be checking these projects and then going to the Epic Game Store team, going to the business team. I'm going to UEFN, to the content team. So according to the kind of assistance that you need, that's what I'm going to try and do. So this could even mean what kind of speakers we are bringing in, what kind of industry guests, right? What kind of knowledge and information you also need, right? So we are going to see this in the forums in a minute. But yes, I'm going to be I'm going to be the one that is sharing also these projects with our partners. You have the option, actually, we're going to see this, if you want just Epic to take a look at your project, or if you want us to also share it with our partners. So yeah.
And then last question here, was will Epic sign a non-disclosure agreement or NDA before I share my game's information? We are not able to sign any NDAs at this time, just so you are aware for your consideration. All right. We'll head on over to the next page here, which takes us to the actual tell us about your game page.
Yeah, so here is a simple form. It's really easy to complete. Yes, please, Tina.
Oh no, please walk us through this.
So yeah, so you have it's really easy. You need to tell us about your game, what kind of game you're making. If you have an estimated release date, you are not signing an agreement. Epic doesn't own anything of this. This is not an Epic investment. You're not committing to a release date. I was an indie. I know how hard that is. So this is just an estimation. So every time we found a cool game that, I don't know, it's coming out closer to GDC time, so maybe we can do something specific, like with a group of games that are going to be released at the same time. I don't know, maybe we can introduce you to press, or have our own community and press team guide you on how to prepare for an event like this. So it's kind of like just information for me to organize, I think. So yes, don't worry, you can edit this, you can change this. I know life happens and sometimes you just can't deliver the game when you were expecting to, so it's fine, you can edit that. Then you can tell us what kind of game you're making, what genre, for what platforms, and again, this is with which engine you're working. It's all the information that you can share with us, the better. It's going to be confidential. It's just for Epic eyes only. What else? Yes, so a lot of you were asking, like, well, I have an idea. Everyone has an idea. I need a game. So please, if you can share, of course, a link, a video to something, and it's amazing and it's beautiful, and then a build of the game that's even better, I think. We will talk about this. Sam has very strong opinions of this, and I like when he shares this. You need to help me help you. So I'm going to be your knight in a shining armor, pitching this internally to Epic and to our partners. So the better the tools you give me, the better I can pitch your game internally. So yes, as much information as you can share, that's great. So any websites and links to your communities, it's the better. So yes, what else? It's really easy to complete. The ones that have the yellow pounds are the ones that you have to complete. And again, if you are working on PC, mobile, consoles, it doesn't matter. Just share your game with us. What else? Well, what kind of game you're making? Again, then I don't know, you do playtesting and you decide to change everything. You can come back and edit all of this. This is not set on stone. But again, this will help us go internally and find the best resources for you all. And then what else? What kind of engine? Sorry, I can't see very well on the screen. right now.
Is it too small? Here, maybe I can make it a little larger. Maybe that's too large.
Yeah, sorry. No,
There we go.
maybe it was much, but I think it's better on the stream. Is perfect, but it's something on our Zoom call, but it's fine. Don't worry. So yes, and then if you scroll a little bit, oh yes, this is very important. Is your project currently using or planning to use any of the following Epic tools? This is the most important part for us, right? So maybe it's like, well, I have this game that I'm working on, but I want to switch to Unreal, or I'm planning to use assets from Fab, or I don't know, we are scanning the world, or I don't know, planning to use metahumans or online services, or I don't know, making your first game inside of Fortnite. I don't know if you knew this, but you can actually make games inside of Fortnite, and when in every platform where Fortnite is available, people will access your game and play it. So this is super cool. It's like you don't need to become a multi-platform studio. You just launch your game inside of Fortnite and people will find it. And so yes, with that information, that's something that is really important for me to get you additional help. And then yes, what kind of support of additional assistance you are looking for? Is it that you need marketing support? Are you looking for funding? Are you looking for any kind of hardware or software, or any other idea, right? Like sometimes I don't know, you're looking for other people, you need other indies or other particular sets of skills to finish your game. So please write it down, and we'll try to do our best. Yes, and I know funding is important. We do have the MegaGrants. This initiative, sorry, it's not a program. This initiative, it's not replacing MegaGrants at all. But if you already want a MegaGrant, tell us about that. Or if, I don't know, you're working with a publisher, or you secure funding through friends or families or anyone. I think this also helps. And then this is the most important part of all. When you agree to share this information with us, you need to tick at least one of these two options. The first one is, I agree to share this information with Epic, and then the second one is, I agree to share this information with Epic's partners, right? The first one is mandatory if you want to share your games with us. The second one is not.
Right. And they have to check this second option if they want you to potentially pass this on to any of those listed partners that we showed previously, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. And then you share.
And then it's done. You just share, and again, once you create the this form, it will live inside of the developer portal, so you are able to go back and edit it as many times as you want. I know game development can take years, and this doesn't mean it's something wrong with you or that it's something bad about the game. I know some of the most successful indies out there that maybe have been working on their games for 10 years and they actually made something amazing. So yes, please keep us posted. Like, just keep sharing those that progress with us through this form. So yes, I think we covered everything, right?
I believe
maybe
so.
we can address some of the super cool game. That's super cool and awesome. Of course, Tina, I am not expecting less from your beautiful brain. Amazing.
I need you to know exactly what you're getting into.
That's a way to get me to get excited about a project. This is so cool.
Yeah, all right, we can go ahead and probably stop sharing my screen now. But yeah, that's pretty much walking through the main part of loving everyone who's in chat that's like, yes, ship it. Thank you. I
There's
will.
my money, right? Like just
Yeah. So yeah, that is the Epic for Indies hub. That's all available directly on our Epic developer community. So if you're interested in anything that we showed there, walking through that, being part of that, making a profile, we just showed you how to do it. So no reason to not. You don't have to pay for anything to do it. I did see a question about that in chat earlier. This is all free. So you literally just have to go to the Epic developer community, make an account, sign up. There you go. All done. Easy peasy. Cool. But yeah, with that, if y'all are up for it, I know that there's a couple other questions. A lot of the big ones were kind of addressed when we were going through the frequently asked questions on the actual form there. But there's a few other pre-prepared ones that I kind of want to go through with y'all super quickly, just to make sure that we cover all of the base minimum information that y'all should know while you consider if this is something you're interested in participating in, as well as just to get some general knowledge and opinions from our wonderful guests who have taken the time to be here today. And then once we're done with those, like I said, we'll open up to the public Q&A where we've been collecting y'all's questions, and we'll tackle some of those as well. So let's dive right into it, shall we? The first one, and we kind of covered it as well, and I also let me take one step back. I am not just asking Martina questions. So if the other three of you would like to hop in and give your input at any point, please feel free to do so. We're officially opening the floor to everyone. But why was Epic for Indies created? Like what hole is this initiative filling?
I guess I'll go. I guess the main thing that we're trying to do with Epic for Indies is just make a place for game developers to push on their problems. Essentially, just say, like, a lot of developers don't know what to do with publishing. A lot of developers don't know how to do the marketing side of games. A lot of the developers don't know the business side, and they get questions regarding how to do it or what are the certain steps you need to do. There isn't really a forum or a place where you can ask that and get a steady flow of questions. That's why this forum is completely agnostic. We're trying to just make a space that will help more people in the community that will fulfill long-term goals that developers might need, and they can always go back to and see and, you know, get help, essentially. Also, to share your indies pages so we can see the games and we can, you know, find help for you guys at the end of the day. We've always been doing that with the evangelism team, and this is just an extension of that to get more far and broader reach for that.
Absolutely. Any other things anyone else wants to throw in there?
Last thing is, like, I know it's really rough out there. It's never been easy to be an indie developer because you're doing so many stuff. It's like not just coding or just designing. It's so many things, and maybe I don't know. You got affected by the layoffs that has been happening for the last year, and you used to be the best designer or your best artist or animator, or like, right, like you were just maybe focusing on one area of game development, and now you're embarking on this new challenge of making your own game, and now you have to handle not just the creation of a full game, but then also how to work with other people, how to organize a team. I don't know, maybe you are working remotely and you need to learn how to organize your assets or how to communicate. And I don't know, I think we can talk about all of that. Making games is rough, and the situation right now out there is, I think, it's brutal. So I think we are here to help. I know there is so much talent, and I know this is an opportunity for great games to be even better. So yes, I think we're here for you. And
If we don't know your game exists, we can't help you. I mean, it's kind of what it boils down to is if, like, as an evangelist, we spend a lot of time, I'm a former evangelist, going out into the world and trying to find cool stuff and going, look at this cool stuff we found internally at Epic, because then we can get you support. But we can't do that if we don't know that you're there. And making games is hard, selling them is even harder. So we're here to help.
Yes. Absolutely. All right. Next question I had here was actually answered in the FAQ, but I'll throw it up and then answered super quickly anyway, just in case anyone missed it. But what stipulations does Epic have for a team that can participate in the Epic for Indies spaces? Can solo devs also participate, for example? The answer is yes, solo devs can participate, although maybe Martina, you can expand on what are our stipulations for someone being able to participate in Epic for Indies and seek additional support and all that kind of good stuff.
I think it's like if you have a game, and that's it. But please, yeah, just we need something to work with. That's everything I'm asking. Not an idea, not a PDF file. But yes, if you are a solo developer, if you are two people working online from home, if on I don't know, because you have a day job as a teacher, like we don't care. If you're making a game and you identify as an indie developer, you're welcome. I know that sometimes indie could mean a lot of things because maybe, I don't know, you're a student in the university and you're making your first game, or you are someone switching from, I don't know, the bank account, the banking industry, and you want to switch industries, and you're also consider an indie. If you've been making games with small teams for years, and this is not your first game, but you feel like there are some areas that you'd like to improve, you are also considered an indie. I think Sam had a very good definition for what an indie is.
I did? Oh no.
Yes, it was
You better
something like
now.
if you don't have like millions of
Remember.
dollars in your, in your bank account.
Yeah, exactly. It's so I've worked in AAA where you're on a team of like 100 plus at this point, like 200, 300 plus people, and you're working on a little individual part of a giant game that's going to come out in 2 to 3 to 4 years. You're probably not an indie. But if you're on a small team, even if you have a publisher, I mean, I was an indie. I had a publisher because that's how we could afford to make our game. That is, but you know, that having a publisher doesn't preclude you from being an indie. As long, you know, if you're not out on a team of 600 people with millions of dollars in your bank account, you're probably an indie game developer, and we can probably help you. And you know, there are different mechanisms at Epic for helping giant AAA teams. So we're here to help you folks who've been exactly
Everybody
what we've
else.
been. Yeah, and that's always been the case with us as evangelists.
Yes, and I was thinking, like, we even have these amazing opportunities to work with brands. When I had my own studio in Buenos Aires, doing work for hire was kind of like the means of survival. That this is how we paid the bills and how we got the funding that we needed, so we could actually invest that on our own games. And we can also help out with that. We have amazing partners, and they have their own IPs, and they're interested in working with indies. We just announced at Unreal Fest this collaboration with like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that is amazing. And again, you can be an indie developer working with the Ninja Turtles. So it's I think the indie definition is really wide, and we can help out in its whole. So if you identify as an indie, we want you.
It includes UEFN creators, just to reiterate. If you're in UEFN, you're making something, you are making games, we want to know about it, please tell us. I mean, I do a lot of UEFN stuff.
An indie even considering that, right? Like, I don't know, there is like a stigma with UEFN, like it's like for kids or something. No, it's not. It's actually a very powerful tool, and it's making a ton of money.
If you're
for a
making a
bunch of people,
multiplayer
so-
game, you should make a
bunch of people,
multiplayer
so-
game. You should definitely consider UEFN because it will let you use Fortnite's backend instead of having to write your own, which will save you like 18 months and millions of dollars. Just a thing to think about. I'm
Also,
not
you
wearing
can
my
play it on your
UEFN shirt
mobile.
today.
Sorry, Tab? Yeah.
Oh no, I was going to say also you can play it on mobile and consoles and everything straight
You
away.
run it on Switch.
So you can test it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Within
done
a
that.
click of a button. No build
actually-
required.
And another stigma, 2D games. Like, I don't know why people think you can make 2D games with Unreal. I don't know. We can also help out with that. Like, just tell us what you need, and we'll go and find people to help you out. But yes, if you're making a game on mobile, we have so many gorgeous games like Akiris. In Epic Games Brazil made a game called Wonder Blocks, that it's amazing. It's running in Unreal on mobile, and yes, I don't know if enough people know about that.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yes, we
another
have like
great
all these
example
tools and
is
services.
Stray Gods, I think. Stray Gods, the role-playing.
Stray
game.
Gods from Australia, right? Those guys are amazing. Yes.
Back to the 2D question. Anyone see Threads of Time? That game looks amazing. It's like a 2.3D kind of like Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, and all those games, all the HD 2D games from Square built essentially in Unreal. So it's, yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can use Nanite and Lumen and do all the really high-end stuff if you want, or you can do a game that targets a much slower spec machine and runs hyper efficiently, or both, based on what you want to do. Like, you always tell people you can uncheck the checkbox and then that feature is none anymore, and then you're not using it or paying for it. It's a very modular engine, so don't feel like you're boxed into going super AAA high end if that's just not what you want to do or not what you have the resources to do. And yeah, very much do 2D games if you want.
And again, games. Just to talk about like something else that it's not technical, but maybe, I don't know, you're making a game with another engine and you need Fab, right, Martin? So maybe you can tell us about how indies can make.
Yeah, so the way that I like to think about this question is, from my side, we handle obviously a lot of creators that focus not so much on video games, but creating content for, maybe commercial applications or also even games. And, the scope for what type of content we host on Fab is pretty much limitless. So I've actually seen a lot of really interesting comments in the chat here on the YouTube stream that is Fab kind of an end goal, or like how do I leverage Fab? And the way that I like to see it is, all of you guys are creating such incredible content with so much depth, detail, or maybe even 2D content as well. And I see all these game developers create these amazing experiences, and then also the content that comes along with it, but then do nothing with that content other than it being in the game. And there's this whole other ecosystem that could also leverage some of your creations, and the other way to look at it is kind of like a passive form of revenue as well. So you create all this amazing content, and Fab just kind of gives you the opportunity to host this content for other people to use as well. And then you can make a little money along the way. Or like some other creators, you can host it and post it for free too, So there's a lot of very cool opportunities that Fab can give you, especially if you're already creating amazing content, which most of you are. So
yeah, absolutely. Since we're on the topic of Fab, actually, there was a question in here about specifically what kind of resources can indies expect to see from things like the Fab launcher in the future?
Sure. Yeah, this is definitely a big question. So as some of you know, another question that I've seen, Fab is not live quite yet. We are very, very close to the launch. Very imminent. No shareable date just yet, but I cannot express how close we are to the launch. But in relation to this question specifically, Fab is going to launch as for those of you who don't know, Fab is basically unifying a lot of Epic ecosystem marketplaces into one. So just taking a step back, we're going to be hosting Unreal Engine content, Sketchfab content, Quixel Mega Scans and ArtStation will come along soon. Not everything is hosted all at the same time. ArtStation still has a little bit of work to be done on that side, but Unreal, Sketchfab, 3D content in general will all be there for you. But as Fab launches with the essentials to get your content published and starting to sell, we'll be rolling out a lot of features very shortly after launch, and then of course into 2025 and beyond. Like our plan is to make this the best marketplace that it can be. But to more specifically answer this question, we actually, like a lot of the topics that we were discussing here, Fab has a very, very awesome and populated EDC channel. So if you guys go to the EDC, Fab has its own section there where it lays out, there's a lot of content on, if you've never really sold content before, how do I get started? Who can I talk to about making my content sellable and work for other things? So that's one really big resource that I really want to stress is a super, super helpful thing for people on here in the stream. But on top of that, really the Fab is going to be a place for you to just make your content more visible to a much larger audience than was ever before presented on the Unreal Engine Marketplace or the Sketchfab store. There's going to be a lot of eyes in this new marketplace. We're really excited about it, and I think that's really valuable for indie creators.
Yeah, completely agree. I mean, I'm excited to see where it goes and how it all kicks off. Yeah.
Me too.
So we'll keep our eyes out. You said soon, so
very so soon. It's crazy.
Awesome. So next question, just because I saw it kind of pop up, bouncing a little bit further back, and you did address it a little bit before as well, Martina, but is Epic for Indies the same as Epic MegaGrants? And the main answer, of course, is no. This is not replacing Epic MegaGrants. It's not the same as Epic MegaGrants. Epic for Indies is not us providing you additional funding. It is more about providing resources than just straight up funding. But I'll hand it off to you, Martina, in case you wanted to elaborate any further.
So we can help you. So this is not replacing MegaGrants. We can help you put together the presentations. Maybe we can have an office hour on one of these Wednesdays where we I don't know, sit down with a volunteer that it's planning to apply, and maybe we can sit down and help you put together the best presentation possible for your game. And again, this is no guarantee that you're going to get a mega grant because we are not on the mega grant team. We don't do evaluations of these projects, but we can definitely help you out because we've seen a bunch of indies from all over the world get this additional help. So I think we can help you out with that. But we are working with partners that can provide funding. So that's also why we have that question there, because it's a way of us, helping get your projects in front of the right eyes. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, for sure. Can more than just developers from Unreal Engine participate? Yes, they can, including UEFN developers. Although I'm going to cheat a little bit here, and I'm going to throw in a question that was from chat, just because it kind of relates here. Is Epic for Indies specifically for developers that are making games, or is it available for wider sorts of products as well? Or are you specifically focusing on indie games?
Oh, we are focusing on games, yeah. It doesn't matter which platform, so maybe, I don't know, it's a VR experience, or it's another kind of, I don't know, immersive experience where people actually, go to a physical place and they have to interact with the surroundings. We are helping all sorts of games. But yes, this is not for animation, short films, or animation, or I don't know, virtual production projects. That's what I'm trying to say. We're focusing on games.
Is this initiative exclusive to specific regions?
No, it's for all over the world. The only condition is that you are using or planning to use any of our tools or services to participate. Yeah.
Next question here is, will Epic for Indies be offering legal guidance?
Oh no, definitely we are not. And please, if you ever hear any of us just saying like, oh, maybe you should do something, the words following that is get a lawyer. Like as an individual, this is not us. What we can do, if many of you, when you complete the form, you tell us like, well, we are looking for legal guidance. It's not like Epic is going to provide it, but maybe what we can do is look for a partner that can volunteer their time to help you with that. So it's not us, but we can try and, I don't know, invite an industry guest to talk about what you need to know when you are, I don't know, launching a game that it's specifically targeted to really small children, or I don't know, when you are about to sign a contract with a publisher, what you need to have in mind, and then we can start the conversation there. Maybe something like that we can do.
Right.
But yes, not us or our legal team. That's definitely not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. It's more potentially helping to facilitate a conversation, but we are not the conversation.
Yes, and we are not recommending as a lawyer, the studio, how do you call it? Like a firm. We're not doing that at all.
Yeah.
We can even bring other indies to tell to share their experience on the legal side. And actually, I encourage you to do that on the forums. Go there and start your own topic and say like, I need more information regarding this, or this is what is happening. What do you advise? And then please share your thoughts with each other, right? Like, I think that's the main goal of this community, is that it's not just with us, but with each other that you can find help and resources and advice, especially.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially because like the legal systems are different in each different countries or regions, so I think that's another whole thing. We do have these communities around the world, but they're Unreal communities where maybe you can find more people, you know, that is closer to your home, people that you can actually meet because it's in your same city. You can see that on the getting started section. But yes, I think online it's great because it's open for everyone. And sometimes, I don't know, I'm in Argentina and I'm launching a game in Korea, and then you need someone that it's from that specific, from South Korea, I don't know, and you need to have someone from the specific country to help you out. Maybe you can find them on the forum, right?
And this is also the kind of thing a publisher can help you with. Trade-off being that with the publisher, before you sign a deal with them, you should have a lawyer read that contract, because you don't want to sign away stuff you didn't intend to because you didn't understand the language of the contract. Would be totally fair, because none of us are lawyers. You know, I read a legal contract and it's all like a foreign language to me. But yeah, if you have the resources, find someone, and they don't have to be a video game lawyer. They just need to be someone who understands contract law in whatever region you're in, and it will help you.
I think that's also like a cool part of the forums. Like I know it's like, if you are not used to working with forums, it could be a little bit stressful to understand how it works. It's not like social media. It's not like a post that gets lost in time. The cool thing about forums is that when you create a topic, then you just look for information that is related to that topic, and it lives there forever. So you can keep updating it, or you can even find people that had the same issue that you had in the past and see what other people answered them, right? Like what recommended them. And I think that's something very valuable about forums, that I think help organize information, right? Maybe I don't know, I can tell you, yes, go to Discord and ask, but then it will get lost, you know, with all these conversations, right? Yeah, I think the forums could be a valuable place to find information like this.
The thing about the forums as well is that you can just search up whatever conversation that's been there for the future developers to check through, rather than posting it on Discord where it will just get lost, as Martina said. It's just a concentrated area where people can just go back with whatever questions they have and then see what solutions other people found. Yeah, that's mainly why the forums was specifically made.
I mean, one bit of advice we tend to give people is if you're hitting a technical problem, post on the appropriate part of the Epic development community, Unreal, UFN, wherever. I'm having this technical issue, because it will stay there and we will see it and people will answer it. That's the best place to get like technical help. And now if we can extend that to general indie developer help, then everybody wins, and anybody can reference that moving forward too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question here, and probably all of you would have bits to say on this one, but how do other parts of the Epic ecosystem work with this initiative, such as Epic Games Store, Fab, so on and so forth? How does it come together? Where can we see the ecosystem working with Epic for indies?
So I think one thing that it's going to happen every Wednesday is we are going to have office hours. So different members of different teams, like we have today, are going to be participating on these office hours. Something that was brought up in the last office hour that was pretty cool is like maybe we can have themed office hours. So maybe it's like, well, we are inviting the people from the store and they can present all the programs that they have and how they are working within this. And then there is this window for you to ask questions and get answers live, in a casual conversation. This is happening for an hour once a week. And I think it's a cool way of interacting with different teams, right? So maybe I can invite Martin to come when Fab is launched, and then we can have like one office hour, like specialized on Fab. That could be pretty cool, actually. So I think this is one of the ways we are interacting with them. And then with each team, as I was saying, is through the developer portal, right? So if you share your game with us, then we'll go back and try to prepare this other initiatives focusing on what's a priority for the community, right? So I don't know if you are looking for training because you need to learn more about UE or UEFN or online services, or right, like, so we can then go back to those teams and tell them, like, can you create content to live on the library, or can you present on one of these special sessions, or can we prepare a workshop, or right, like we can go back and forth with these teams to try and help as many people as possible. And then the same, right? So we are going to be featuring indies on our social media, on as we've done, right, on our blog. And the more projects we get to see, the more I get to present to these teams to have them take a look and see how we can help out.
And just to add to this just a little more, just from the Fab side, the way that this initiative and all of you kind of work in coinciding with Fab is, I touched on it a little bit before, but again, I just want to stress that all of you are making really amazing content. We've talked a lot about thus far UEFN and the ease of creating UEFN content and distributing it across all these different gaming platforms, because at the click of a button, as Tab mentioned, all of that content that you make for UEFN or with Unreal and then porting it into UEFN and optimizing it. Even I see some of you are using Unity. You will be able to sell all of that content in the games that you're making on Fab. So you make these amazing experiences, and then you can take those assets and then monetize them as well for other people to use. So that's another fun way that this kind of all integrates together into one really cool ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then last thing is like Epic makes games, right? Like we are game developers. Most of us here, we've been working in this industry for a really long time and making our own games or working on these other companies. So I think I'm very hopeful that a lot of people inside of Epic is engaging in a deeper level, right? Because they understand, they know what you're going through, and they're actually coming up with new ideas on how we can help out. So so yes, I'm exciting, not just about Ask Me Anythings or tutorials or content or visibility or marketing, like everything we've been talking we want to do for you. I think there is a lot of room to grow. I think that there is new things that are going to happen that is probably going to start with you, right? It's going to start with the indies and what you need, and then the Epic team is kind of like a yes and, more like a improv sort of team, and they always surprise you. Yes, with new initiatives. We never know, right?
Yeah, for sure. Next question here is, will Epic staff be supporting both the hub on the developer community? I really did almost say developer, which is not the first time I've done that on stream. I'm so sorry, everyone. Will Epic staff be supporting both the hub on the developer community and the Discord? And the answer is yes, of course. We will be supporting on both of those places as much as we can. But and of course, anyone else feel free to hop in here as well with this answer. But I think also part of the intention is to build a space where you can connect with other indie developers as well. We'll be there and we will support you, but we are also us as Epic are still less than you all as indies accumulatively, right?
Yeah.
So there's a greater number of indie developers overall than there are Epic staff. So if there are ways that you can help each other and answer technical questions, or even if it's not technical, if you have any good marketing advice or stories that you can tell, advice that you've learned throughout your process, if you've been an indie developer for a little bit longer and you meet someone else who might be newer to the space or just needs help, that's another huge point of this, right? Is to build a community for you all as indie developers to be able to assist each other just as much as we're assisting you. But I'd love anyone else's thoughts on the matter as well.
At least on the Fab side, in the EDC, I'm there. Some of my teammates are there. We want to creator success. We want you guys to be successful. So we'll be there trying to help you and answer as many questions as we can. But yeah, as Tina very astutely pointed out, there are quite a few of you with very similar interests, but we're going to try and do our best.
Yeah, we're definitely hovering around there. And yeah, from the live stream just on Discord, I ended up getting people a bunch of answers after the fact. I'm like, here's my information, email me, I will help you fix your problem. Like, we're here to help, but obviously it really depends on how many of us, how many of you, and how much other stuff we're also doing at the same time. Not like I'm totally working on something else while also on this live stream.
Sam!
How dare I?
Wow! Yeah, absolutely. So we will be there, but we hope for you all to be able to make friends, meet other like-minded developers, and be able to assist each other just as much as we can help you. That's the goal, right? That's the dream. This is the dream team, everybody. All right, I'm gonna go on to the next question before I keep babbling. So we're gonna move from questions just about Epic for indies and kind of open it up a little bit further into either the ecosystem at large, like the Epic ecosystem at large, and also just being an indie and talking a little bit more about that. Because a lot of you have experiences also being indie developers yourself at some point throughout your careers. And if not being an indie developer, then at least working with indie developers. So getting your perspective on some of these things and how resources like this could help would be fantastic. So I'm gonna lay us up with a question that we kind of threw at Sam earlier. Just demanded he have an answer for immediately. But now the rest of you had had time to think about it. So this is me getting revenge for you, Sam. But what does it mean to you all to be an indie developer? Like if you had to put some kind of qualifier in that so that people have more of an understanding of if they would belong to a space like this or not, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? And I'd also love your thoughts in chat as well, if anybody has particularly strong opinions.
I think that, and I'm going to try and make it brief because I've been talking a lot, but in this, or at least when you start as an indie, it's all about passion and being creative and taking risks, like all these amazing games that we have out there. I don't know, the Manor Lord guy, I don't know, like these guys took a risk. They kind of like, we were talking about Agario yesterday, like indies invent genres, you know, it's like we have all this freedom to do everything we want. We have this vision and being indies, being independent, right? Like a great power with a lot of responsibilities because you are also alone, or you feel like you are doing this on your own. So I think this space is meant for anyone that's going through that. We hope we get you in front of the right people. We hope we get you in front of the right resources and the right information, especially if you're starting out, to at least don't make the same mistakes we did. Or if you find your community and other friends, it's like learn from others and go and make new mistakes. Like, please, that's the best way of learning and making great games. We encourage you to make mistakes, but yes, I think that some games get, you know, to change the world. Some games get such an impression on players around the world, and that's a great responsibility that you have. And being an indie, you can do that. Maybe when you're working on a bigger company, you can't, because there are other rules taking place. But yes, I think we created this as a space for you to find each other, for you to find us, and try to yes, to get better games out there in the world, right? And hopefully not just better game, but more successful games, right? That reach more people. Because at the end of the day, we also need these games to be successful, right? Like if you want to keep being an indie, you need to keep trying and keep making games and keep and that's also about building a community or having a marketing strategy, or yes, making a game that it's so fun that people talk about it, right? And it's worth to mouth recommended. I don't know how. Sorry about my localization skills, but yeah, I think that's maybe why I got involved with this. But community for me, it's a big word. It means everything we've been talking about: collaboration and support and networking, and I hope this space becomes that for you.
That was beautiful.
I'm going to cry.
But yeah, if anyone else has any thoughts that they'd like to add, if not, we can move on to the next. But
I think Martina kind of summed it up really well there. So
yeah,
I can't really, push any boundaries. If you want some kind of legal thing, this is my own personal opinion. If you want like strict statistics on my opinion on what it is, it will be like if you don't have more than 50 employees and your development cost is not over $1 million. And this is just strict development costs, not marketing. That's if you're going strict definitions here, not like any of the passion or anything like that. That's my opinion anyway. Because if you're going up, I understand you're going to AA and stuff like that, and then that's a whole new quarter.
Yes, but maybe, I don't know, we can invite what we call the triple I's, right? Like the indies that already have experience and a budget and a marketing team, and maybe we can invite them to share their knowledge here, right? Like we can have them also as not just inspiration, but again, right? Like the do's and the don'ts on becoming that. So yes, we have a bunch of cool indies that are coming to the industry guest sessions.
I think it's great that we can't define indie because it really shows kind of the breadth of what independent game development is. It's like it's such a large nebulous term. There's so much cool stuff coming out there. Being, as Martina said, like the next most interesting thing you ever played is probably going to come out of indie game development, and that's why we want to support it. That's why we want to grow it. But yeah, it's like I think there's no point gatekeeping the term. As Martina said, if you say you're indie, you're probably indie. And if you're indie, if you're doing more than one job on your game, you're probably an independent game developer. I feel like, I'm also the sound engineer and the localization producer, and I'm also fixing the collision detection on a whole bunch of the game. Oh yeah, I'm an indie.
I'm in charge of buying the toilet paper. That's also right.
I have to go buy office chairs because we don't have any office chairs, and we have a meeting with our publisher. That actually happened. That's a real thing.
That's when you just give the publisher the chairs, and then you all get boxes.
We sat on the floor and they sat on us. It was fine.
Oh no! Oh,
yeah. So, I don't know. You are like we are talking about indies, and the other day I met a bunch of these really awesome UEFN creators, and they don't self-identify as indies. Like they present themselves as creators, and I was like, okay, why? And they were telling me the struggles, the problems that they found, and it's like, well, I used to be a teacher, and now I used to be a Fortnite player. I'm now working on my first game, and I'm or I don't know, I worked on my first game, it did very well, and now I'm hiring for the first time someone to help me with social media, or I'm hiring someone to help me with design or art or animation, and suddenly that's an indie struggle, right? Like, what do you do when you are doing well and you actually need to learn how to hire someone or how to organize a team online? That's also that's indie. That's an indie problem. Or I remember they were saying something like, no, but it's like so hard to get discovered, right? Because there are so many games coming into this into this ecosystem, and it's like indies around the world struggle with that every day on every platform, right? So yes, I think the indie how do you call it, like the
indie
badge,
army, the moniker,
the badge, yeah. There's a lot of people that can actually wear that.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we continue the questions and conversations, unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to Martin for now. But thank you so much for coming and hanging out and answering some questions about Fab. Really appreciate your time.
Nice to see you guys. Good luck with everything, and hopefully I'll see you all soon.
Yes, for
Thank
sure.
you. Keep working hard. We need Fab.
Coming soon, very soon. Bye, guys.
Awesome. All right. So our next question that we have here is, well, actually, we kind of answered the next question. It was about team size. And game budget. It was what team size and game budget do you consider is still indie? But again, I feel like we kind of, it falls under the previous conversation.
Yes, no budgets, little budget. Yeah. Your own savings, a publisher. We have.
If you have to remortgage the house, you're an indie. That's the only definition.
Oh, no.
Don't remortgage your house to fund your game, please.
That was a joke.
Again,
I need to preface
that
was not
legal advice.
Yes, please, no legal advice from Tom, please.
And if you do, please don't tell us that you did that. We'll worry about you.
Yes, we will. No, the next actual question then would be, what benefits do you see an indie getting from joining spaces like Epic for Indies? And there are other things besides just Epic for Indies that is available to them. So just like at large, what benefits do you see for an indie developer to join communities where they can connect with other devs who are working on stuff like there?
Well, we talk about this map, right? So it's kind of like, well, if I'm making a first game, where do I start? This is something you can benefit from, right? Like people that actually been through this, guiding you through the process, right? Like not being alone on that. But then knowing who to talk to, right? Like Epic or even our partners. These are companies that are so big, massive teams. You never know who is the right person to talk about the specific matter, or even, I don't know, you are attending an event and you don't know who to look for, because we have people all over the world, right? Like I'm based in Argentina. Tina is on the East Coast, Sam is on the West Coast, Tav is in Ireland. And yes, and we have people in India, we have people in Australia, in Korea, in Japan, everywhere, right? In Brazil. So it's well, it's what we talk about, right? Like sometimes it's such a big team that I think it's also cool to know who to talk to that can help you out. I don't know, finding members for your project. That could be, right, collaboration with other individuals or other devs or teams, right?
Yeah,
I
going
don't
to
know,
meetups
maybe.
and such like that.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
even conferences. It's a great way to find. Sorry, Sam, go on.
I was going to say every opportunity I had as an indie came from meeting someone somewhere. And I had the advantage of being based in Los Angeles, so there was a lot of game development, so we went to events, there were a lot of people. But the power of community is really community. It's that there's someone out there who can probably help you in some way or some form, answer your question if you're stuck. Like when I was a VR developer, the VR community was pretty small, but we were like everyone was in support of one another. We'd meet up, we'd look at each other's stuff, we'd offer feedback, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is the person I know from this company." I mean, that's sort of how I ended up working in Unreal. Was I knew some people who were making a game in Unreal in VR, and I got on board with that, and now I'm an Unreal developer. And it was all just through the people you know and the people you've worked with, or the people you've shown your work to, and then them going, "Hey, this is cool," and they tell someone else. And then some of the bigger sort of indie games that have come out through Unreal, like word of mouth and Epic, is really useful. You can go, "Hey, look at this cool thing," and then suddenly people all across the organization are excited about it. And so not only are you finding community with other developers, you're finding community with us, and that we are not separate from you. And we are here to, as we keep saying, we're here to help, but we are not, we are Epic and we are, separate from you in some way. We are you,
Right.
and we want to help you.
Yeah. We're all the same, really, when it comes down to it. It's just that some of us have different resources than others. And that's ultimately, I think, what goes behind a lot of the initiatives and programs that are run at Epic, is just that if we can help, we want to. And we'll try. We'll do our best. I have to put the little asterisk that we cannot guarantee anything.
Yes,
but
please.
We'll try.
That's important, but we are trying. Yes. And again, we are trying to get us to as many people as possible, right? It's because it happened to us a lot that it's, again, you needed to know Tab, like you needed to, I don't know, pay for a plane ticket to go to Germany and go pay for the ticket to Gamescom and actually know who Tab was and in which team he was working to actually get Tab's feedback or Tab's guidance. And I think this is a way of actually finding everyone.
Yeah. Making us more available, for sure. All right, so I think now we'll hop over into more about kind of the Epic ecosystem at large. The first part of the ecosystem that we're going to tackle, because I'm sure it's relevant to a lot of y'all watching this right now, is about the Epic Game Store specifically. So first and foremost, a question that I have seen pop up a couple times in chat, and that I also just want to address with you all too, is what resources are available for getting started with publishing your own game or creating your own game page on the Epic Game Store? Like where can people get started with things like this?
I guess I can tackle that one. Yeah, we have this whole documentation page where where you can search how to get your game published on the Epic Game Store and highlight the different tools we have and everything regarding that. We also have this great live stream where we go through it hand by hand and walk through what you need to do for your steps to get your game published. There's a page if you want to get started. Like, I mean, the very started. There's one self-publishing link that you can go to and click on that, pay the $100 fee, and get your game up there. There's no real starting place to do it. You can just make a page now even, and then just keep on going from there, and may put on all your games and all your builds. You can even do early testing builds, demos, and early access as well.
Yes, absolutely. All great places. Sorry, I'm taking a second to throw those links in the chat there for everyone so you have access to them. Oh no, now I have to get back to my questions page. Oh no, everybody, okay, there it is. I found it. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. I'm the only one panicking. Nobody do it. Nobody panic. So yeah, there's just through the resources, all the ones that Tab just mentioned, they're in chat for anyone who's interested in looking more into that. So if you're close to a release or even just, releasing a demo, or you just want to get your page set up, all of those resources there should help you kind of walk through those initial steps of getting that started. Kind of along a similar line, also, I do want to throw out that there are plans to have a full stream that's dedicated towards like questions around the Epic Game Store and things like that. We'll also address more of that in certain office hours in the Epic Indies Discord as well, which I'll throw another link for that in the chat in case anyone is interested in joining. Again, we'll be doing weekly office hours there every single Wednesday. That'll be themed around different topics, and that'll certainly be one of them at some point. But anyway, I digress. Next question is any advice for launching a demo on the Epic Game Store?
Regarding that, I would say that treat it as any other demo. At the end of the day, you're just trying to showcase your game and put more eyes on it. And it's just treat it any other way you publish your demo, whether it be itch.io or Steam. Just publish it, and people can see. There's no real special advice I can give to get your game out there. It's the same way with any other service. You don't give any preferential treatment or anything like that when it comes to it.
Yeah. This one I know is just a yes or no question, and I know the answer to it, but that's okay. Will Epic Game Store be offering any type of themed festivals similar to other game stores?
Oh, I don't know about anyone that it's coming specifically. For example, last month we did have Latin Heritage Month, for example. So that was kind of like a theme event. So maybe this is a great idea, and we can actually talk to the store team and tell them, like, can we do like an indies themed festival? Again, I'm not making any promises, but this is what this is all about, right? Like, this is how we can start the conversation and get yes, like new initiatives going inside of the store.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Shout about it in forums. More eyes on it,
Yes.
the more people see.
Yeah. Please give us your feedback, because I would like to think that we do occasionally come up with pretty cool ideas ourselves. Yes, but if there are things that if there are things that you would like to see happen, or happen more often, even if there was an event that happened and you enjoyed and you'd like to see it again or things like that, we don't know unless you tell us. So join the forums, yell about it, like Tab said, but politely. Please and thank you.
Yes,
Yell,
please.
but nicely. And we'll see what we can do to try and help encourage some of these conversations to continue. And then lastly, about Epic Game Store is, do you know what programs are available that could benefit developers looking to publish on the Epic Game Store?
Yeah, so the main one that we have right now is Epic First Run. So what Epic First Run is, you release your game early for 6 months exclusively on the Epic Game Store, and you get 100% of the revenue. this counts for early access games as well. It's and then after that 6 months you can release it everywhere. This does not count for console games, so you can release it on console as well as Epic Games Store on early access for 6 months, and gain 100% of the revenue from the Epic Games Store. Another thing we recently announced it is the SimShip deal. So as you may know, we take a 5% cut after the first $1 million made through your game. That can be now 3.5% if you do a simultaneous release on Steam and EGS Store. It's just more options were coming, and more are coming down the pipeline as well. That's the two main ones that we have. Also, we have the free games, I guess. We can send out a document where you can ask for feedback on the free games and such like that, but nothing is guaranteed on that. We just mainly pick it out at one point of the year, and that goes for the rest of the year and stuff like that.
Awesome. Alrighty. I think that's everything I had for Epic Games Store. Couple things to address for just Unreal Engine, of course. We are on the Unreal Engine channel. It only makes sense to talk briefly about it at the very least. Are there recommendations we have for learning the engine with limited resources, as most indies do have quite limited resources? And for me, and let me know if it's different for any of you, but for me, I mean, the two main resources that I can recommend, of course, are the plethora of tutorials that are available on the Epic developer community. There's tons of them that have been created not only by Epic staff, but also by other community members. So you can find a great tutorial for just about anything. And if you're not looking necessarily for a tutorial, but you're looking more for something like a course or a means of just learning more about the engine itself, we have things called learning paths on the EDC as well, which is kind of like a longer form tutorial mixed sort of with a class at the same time. It's a bit of both, depends on the learning path. But you can learn lots of different ways of getting into the engine, learning how to use it. And then of course, there's the documentation. But point blank, there's a documentation that has just about anything you would ever need in regards to the engine and learning it. It's just knowing sometimes the problem can be finding what you need to look up in the documentation, for which I would then point towards the forums. No better way of learning than to ask.
And all our documentation is on the Epic developer community now. It has all been migrated there. It lives in the same space as the tutorials that we create, you create. My blog for the Epic Indies, that was created in the Epic EDC, just tutorial creator. So there. And one thing I would recommend, if you are a developer and you're starting out in Unreal, but you know a bit about game development, start with our Begin Play series. They're on the EDC, and they're specifically a breakdown of how the engine works, from everything for engineering through VFX through a core gameplay framework that used to build experiences. And if you want to build a game, it is the quickest way to know sort of how the engine works under the hood in a generalized sense, where you don't need to be some crazy engineer. I'm certainly not, and I found it incredibly useful. I may have made a couple of them too. But yeah, I always recommend that as a place to get started. And EDC is called Begin Play, and the ones that aren't by me are by people who are way smarter than me, so I recommend them all.
And so the cool thing about Begin Play, for example, is that everything is recorded. You can do it on your own time and at your own pace. But then if you're interested in doing more of like a live session with someone, we have this workshop that is coming in November, where we're going to share also the link on the chat. Where you can sign up, and this is like a full synchronous experience, right? So you need to commit to be available online, so you can do it from all over the world. It's going to be in English, but this will happen. It's 11 hours during 1 week in November, with actual instructors, right? Mm-hmm.
I also highly recommend going through our talks. There are a lot of effort is put into them, and they really go through everything in the best way possible. All of them are great.
The last Real Fest in Seattle. Like all these talks were recorded and are available online for free, and they're amazing. Not just by Epic people, but by other developers and creators. It's
Yeah.
a lot.
Our YouTube
Yeah.
channel is full of great stuff. Yeah, those talks. I go to our talks because I learn stuff from our talks every time I go, and I recommend watching them. Find things on either stuff you're interested in or just stuff that you might already know about, and you'll probably learn something you didn't know in the process.
And then
Yeah.
participating in shams also. So this sham by Sandscape that is happening right now, that is going to be taking place until the end of the month. That's awesome. Also, an awesome place to start. And Tina, you are also preparing, right? Another sham.
Yes. That was the perfect segue. Thank you for that. Was the 10th Epic Mega Jam is just around the corner. It is going to be happening. I know the timing is a little different than some of the previous ones. It's because it's a big one, so we want to make sure that it's cool and we've got everything set up well for y'all. So can't give you a specific time yet. But again, soon. TM. I know there's a lot of soons in the stream today, but there will be the next Epic Mega Jam coming up soon as well.
One thing about Epic is like every time we say coming up soon, it happens, right? Like that's the indie way also. It will happen.
Yes, exactly.
Because we don't announce it if we don't. That's the other thing. If we're not planning to do it. So
Yes. All right. Next couple questions here are about MegaGrants, and I do want to put out a little like clarifying point that none of us are representatives of the actual MegaGrant team. We know a lot about the MegaGrants individually, but just keep in mind that we are not like part of that team. We're not official representatives with our answers here for that. But the first is, are Epic MegaGrants still available? And the answer is yes, they are still available. And you will always get an answer. So if you have submitted for an Epic MegaGrant and you haven't heard back, know that every single submission is reviewed by actual people. It's not done automatically at all. It's manual review for every single one, and you will get an answer. Every single person who submits for a MegaGrant will get an answer at some point, whether that is a yes or no. So, as I think, Sam, you were the one that mentioned it the other day, if you haven't heard no, then you're still
on the run. That's a good thing. Yeah.
It might just take a while, to get that yes or no, but it will come eventually. So they're still happening. Just know that, you know, it's all done through manual review, and depending on how many submissions are put in at a time, it might take a while to get through up to when you have submitted yourself. Then,
yeah, the usual turnaround is like 6 months. That's usually the time you have to wait. Usually, again, we get a lot of submissions.
Yes. Then this next question, it's MegaGrant, but I feel like it could also very much be the same advice that you could give for the Epic for Indies. Tell us about your game form that we walked through earlier as well. But any advice you have for what kind of applications are often considered over others? So again, I feel like that could also apply very much for the Epic for Indies additional support stuff that you were mentioning earlier, Martina.
Yeah, so any kind of game, we don't have preference or platform or genre or anything. Any kind of game is welcome. Regarding MegaGrants, what I know it's important is that you know this is not an investment, right? So Epic is not investing in your game or anything like that. You're just receiving like an award for you to keep working on your game. MegaGrants, it is for UE games. That's the difference with everything inside of the Epic developers community, right? So in the community, when you apply, maybe you have a game developed in another engine and you want to bring it to the store, we can help you with that. But with the MegaGrants program, it's important that it needs to be developed with either Unreal Engine or UEFN, right? Or I don't know, if you are working to integrate, I understand, like softwares and other tools to our ecosystem, right? So if you are using any of our tools or our tools or services, that's important, the core of MegaGrants. But yes, any kind of project, and MegaGrants also includes animation and film, virtual production, automotive, right? Like it's a bigger
Farming simulation. There was definitely a farm sim in there somewhere. Yeah. So one note about migrant applications that I think also applies to indies is, and this is something I said in the live stream, strong opinions again. If you have a really cool trailer and I can't play your game, I start to go, why can't I play this? Where it looks so cool. Whereas if you have a playable sample of your game that is not meant for external distribution, so the game developers, we know stuff is often broken or unfinished or early. That's why you're asking for help in the first place. But if I can play your game, I can then go, oh, I see what the spark is here. I see what the cool thing is here. This is a real thing. Whereas if it's just a really sweet trailer for a game I can't play, then for me at least, on the indie side, I find that less convincing. I'm sure tends to be, I can't speak for the MegaGrants team personally, but that seems to be a thing that tends to stick, is if you can provide software, you will do better. And you shouldn't be embarrassed about your software being unfinished. That's the whole point.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and the MegaGrants is also open all year long, right? Doesn't have a window. I think maybe they close on the holidays, right? I think there's sometimes
They're not reviewing them.
They shut down the website when they're not taking applications. It'll just not let you apply for one, and then they just start it up again.
But then they start again. Yeah. So I think that's important. And then regarding indies, yes, like any presentation, anything that you can make it easier for the MegaGrants team to review. Again, think the same as what I was telling you before. MegaGrants team make a selection and then it goes through an internal review, and a lot of people see this inside of Epic. So give them the best weapons to fight for you. So as Sam was saying, trailer is great, build is amazing. If you are building a community, if you are I don't know, using the excuse of the MegaGrant to make a game, and then you're also documenting the process, so your community in your part of the world can learn more about how to make games with Unreal or with UEFN. That's even better, right? So I think that also makes a better. I don't say this is what you have to do at all. What I'm trying to say is like everything you can do to make your project stand out, I think helps.
Yeah.
We respond very well to like Epic in general. There's a lot of stuff we do that we view as sort of giving back to the community of developers that we wouldn't exist without. And so when sort of in the context of grants or anything like that, seeing people reflect that same ethos is always a positive. So it's like if you can help the people around you elevate themselves like you're elevating yourself, then everybody wins.
What we know they don't like is when you ask funding for hardware. Like if you need a computer or you need a special, I don't know, motion capture or something, MegaGrants is not the place for that. But maybe it's the Indies forum, so maybe we can go and see if we can find any partner to help out. Again, no promises being made. Like I need like a like a text here, you know,
something that
very
just
small
pops up occasionally.
legal, yeah.
We
That's
will not quote you
Martinez
on
just
No promises
expressing
made
a
at
wish,
all.
a desire, but this is not going to happen.
We'll have a red
For
light
sure.
come on.
She's going to
Yeah.
try. She's going to do her best. But yes, so just for you to understand the differences between MegaGrants and our initiative.
Be specific. That's what I recommend with anything like this. When you're telling us about your game, when you're telling MegaGrants about your game, if you're asking for a grant or assistance, being specific about what you need help with really helps. Like if you go for a MegaGrant, you're like, I want to hire an animator for 2 months because I need to polish up my animation. That's a good thing to apply for a grant for. Fund my entire game is not. And it's the same here. It's like, we're making this indie game. Let me just tell you all about it. The more we know, the more we can help you.
you can apply even like more than once with the same project, right? So for what I understand, there is a cap on the amount of money you can ask. So if you go, as Sam was saying, like, oh yes, I need funding for my game, I need $1 million. Well, that's very general. Like maybe what you can do is like, as Sam was saying, like maybe have like smaller objectives. So maybe it's like, well, now I'm applying with this game, I need, I don't know, $10,000 to hire an animator for this amount of months and do this specific very work. Then you go, you complete that task, and then you can submit again and say like, well, now I need, I don't know, someone for marketing to help me release this game, or I need, I don't know, yes, like something very specific, and you can submit as many times as you want. I think that the budget limit was $500,000 for each project. But yes, I think as Sam was saying, being very clear and very specific is the best. It's the best way of presenting.
I guess what I would like to say regarding that, I know a lot of people like to keep their games private, but another way of highlighting your game for the MegaGrants team that I've seen done well is to get your game more out there, as in, have devlogs, have like an active social media where you're constantly doing updates for the game, where you're constantly showcasing progress for the game. That we do check those, and we do, see what's going on, how's the progress of the game. That does help out quite a lot because we know you guys are dedicated to it at the end of the day, and it's not something to fund the game, as Martina and Sam said. It's more something to help you guys make the best product possible.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, with that, I think now it's good to kind of point the conversation in the direction of, don't worry, I just dropped a few words there. It's fine. Of the future and what we can expect for Epic for indies. Wow. Okay, everybody, we're stopping. Okay, reverse it 20 seconds. It didn't happen. Cut it in post. You thought you saw it? No, you didn't. All right, restarting. So I think it's a great time to redirect the conversation to the future of Epic for Indies, because obviously this is a newer initiative. It's still growing. We're still figuring out our footing, kind of figuring out how things will fit together, taking advice and feedback from you all about things that we're running, especially in the Discord. There actually is a section dedicated specifically to feedback and requests, just so we can keep improving on the events and the things that we're running, make sure that it's as good as possible for you moving forward. But with that in mind, there's lots of things on the horizon that haven't even been implemented yet, and I think it's a great time to kind of chat about those. So first and foremost, what would you like for this community to ultimately be?
Should I start?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
If you want.
So maybe being a place where you feel you belong, that would be the first. I think yes, we at Epic are always associated with the AAA, the super hyper realistic projects, and we want to tell you that you belong here, and this is a place for you to grow. I hope we can give you not just the right resources and tools, but also give you mentorship, give you guidance. We were talking about the Ask Me Anythings, the workshops, the tutorials, the QA sessions, the guest speakers, the office hours. But yes, if this could be a place where we get more games, indie games out there, better games being released, and then we can help out with visibility and recognition. I think this is something I hope this community turns into. And again, not just by us or by our partners, but then also by you, right? Like all this this community. It's also something that we build with you. It's something that we build with indies by indies, to help each other. So yeah, I think that's something I like.
I guess for me, it would be just a place where people can just get some help at the end of the day. Like being in indie is hard, as we've been spouting throughout this whole live stream. Being in indie is extremely hard. So getting a place where all the data is concentrated, you can always go back to and even ask your questions on would be amazing, especially for people that are starting out and they can see all this resource of details just to go through and to see what they might need help with a certain problem, and even like to share their game and be a good place to share a game and get constructive feedback on the idea that they've been working on so hard. So I think just a space where we can make it easier for people to make games at the end of the day.
My hope is that when people go, I'm making an indie game, what should I do? People should go, hey, go to the Epic for Indies community and sign up, and they'll help you out. Because, like, if that becomes common knowledge, then we're doing our job right. And
That's beautiful. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, for me, I think I just want it to be a cool, dope place for everybody to hang out. There you go.
fun.
My words of
The
wisdom.
young, the young member of this group.
Yeah, with
It's
cool
a cool
events
one.
and stuff too. Because there's definitely more events and things that we have planned to start kind of implementing more in the future as well, which will lead us into my next question of what kinds of things like events or subjects or topics will we be speaking more about in the future for Epic for Indies to get information out there for everyone.
Yeah, that's right. Like we talked about game production. We talk about human resources. We talk about design and art and animation. We talk about narrative. So not just the pure technical, but we would love to learn from your side, right? Like best practices when, yes, you're launching your game, when you're interviewing someone to join your team. I think yes, we have a lot of things that can make a game to be better, and we'd love to learn what you are struggling with.
Yeah. And I think as far as like events and stuff go, this is another great opportunity to kind of bump y'all giving us feedback for things that you would like to see. But I know a couple ideas that we're tossed around is potentially doing like let's plays of indie games that y'all have made, so that we can kind of see what has been made. We can actually play it. Maybe we could throw it up in the Discord or something and everybody can see what's been made. Just have a good time playing some cool games together. I think there was a suggestion I saw either earlier today or yesterday, about having like a pitch day where people could practice their pitches at us and we can give you some pointers. Cool. Yeah, there's lots of cool ideas, great ideas, things that we would love to be able to assist with. And if you have ideas of cool events and things like that, let us know. We'll see what we can do. I think it would be a lot of fun to be able to do stuff like that fairly regularly. But again, we need to know what you want, and then we'll figure it out, and we'll put it together, and we'll do what we can. And then of course the weekly Epic office hours, where we'll be tackling topics and questions from y'all regularly too. So we'll see how it goes. Lots of things that can happen.
Yes, and I hope more partners join us, and more. Yes, it's kind of like a joint effort, not just us.
Yeah, it will grow over time, and we'll see what happens. It's kind of the Wild West right now.
Yeah. Yes, but it's a lot of that's a good part, right? Like it's all opportunity. It's a good place to be. A lot of things can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, that was it for those questions, but we're also at time here. So, what I will do, I'm going to collect all the questions that have been going on in chat here. I'll toss them all into a document. I'll see what we can't tackle, and maybe we can throw them in either a pinned comment or something on the YouTube video. Plus, we could probably throw them in a message thread or something on the Discord as well, just so we can make sure that.
And on the forums, right? Like maybe something like
Yes.
just
Yes, exactly.
Never happened.
Never happened. They'll never know. We'll put up a couple of spots there where we can answer some of these questions, and you can also ask us more that we can hopefully address in the future as well. So don't be afraid to keep throwing those out. We'll do what we can to answer as many as we possibly can. One little thing I do want to throw out, Epic for Indies is it's about resources and resource sharing. But I would say that it's not necessarily the place that I would recommend going for specifically very technical issues or answers, right? There are plenty of resources that are available for you to find answers to questions like that, such as on the Epic developer community, in those forums, in the Unreal Engine forums, in the UEFN forums, depending on what it is that you are developing for. Lots of tutorials, all that sort of great stuff. I do also want to throw out a quick little booster towards the Unreal Slackers Discord, or Unreal Source it is now. I always get it mixed up. That is also a wonderful place to be if you have questions about Unreal Engine specifically and need help with technical answers there. There's so many great devs who are very experienced and are awesome, wonderful members of the community and are always willing to help. So those are the places for that. I would say the Epic for Indies community is less for tackling those really hardcore technical questions and is more about what is it being an indie? Where can you find other like-minded indie developers? How do you make a team? How do you find a publisher? How do you put together a press kit? All those kinds of answers or things are more so along the lines of what we're hoping to assist with and address in this specific space. So just wanted to throw that out there so we don't get confused along the way of where we should go for certain things. But yeah, with that, oh my God, I'm running out of breath just because I went like real rapid fire there.
2 hours, right? Like this was intense. I've been sweating a lot.
So my final question for the three of you, and it's an easy one, is anything else that you would like to say to everybody before we wrap up for today?
I will see you soon, hopefully next Wednesday on our office hour and on the forums. That's the other place.
Yes.
You can find us.
She said.
Show
Right.
off your games. We love seeing them.
Yes, tell us about your games.
Yeah. Love seeing new
Games.
cool projects all the time.
Yes, absolutely. All right, I'm tossing in the link one last time for the Epic for Indies Discord in the chat there, in case anybody is curious.
And the community, can you share that link too,
That's
please?
the next one. That's the
Thank
next one. Don't worry, I got you, Martina.
Thank you.
All right.
There's the showcase section. You can showcase your games. We would love to see them.
Yes,
There.
yes. Please showcase your stuff. Let us see the cool stuff that you're making. Yeah, hopefully you'll come interact with us in these spaces. We're really excited to see what everybody's doing, what everybody's up to. Also just getting to know you all and hopefully building a really cool community where we can all hang out and help each other and talk about cool things, see cool things, and overall have a really wonderful, uplifting place where we can all go and develop together and make cool stuff. So with that, I think that's everything. So thank you so much for our wonderful guests who took the time to be here today. You're all tremendously busy, so I appreciate you doing so. And then, of course, also thank you everybody who came to watch the show. It wouldn't be what it is without you and your interaction. We actually do these live streams every single week here on the Unreal Engine channel. Most of the time, they're more about technical topics, deep dives, all that kind of stuff. This one was a little bit different than the usual formula, but was a lot of fun. And I really appreciate, like I said, you all taking the time to be here so we could talk about it, kind of get it out there, hopefully get more eyes on it, get more people involved. But next week, we actually, speaking of indies, have an indie team that's going to come on and talk about their game that they have been making called Green Hawk Platoon. So if that sounds like something fun, you should come and watch that. It'll be a lot of fun. At the same time as always, every Thursday at 2 p.m. If you joined this stream either partway through or near the end and you missed part of it, well, too bad. It's gone forever. No, I'm just kidding. All of our streams are posted in video format that can be viewed on demand on both our Twitch and YouTube channel at your leisure. So whenever you need to, you can always go back, see anything that you might have missed. And you can also keep up with us at Unreal Engine on all of our socials if you want the latest on news, cool things that are happening, all that good stuff. You'll stay up to date as possible in those places, so go check that out. And then lastly, we've talked about it a lot thus far this stream, but please come join us on the Epic Developer community because we have everything you could ever need, ever, in regards to just about anything epic there. So come hang out. It's a great place. We have tons of resources. There's lots of really cool people there, and I hope to see you there. But that's it. That's everything. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Hopefully
You've
we'll
been
see you in the
amazing.
Discord.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Yes,
Tina. Thanks, everybody.
of course.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Bye.